Before you watch the video, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Stocks FC. This is the place where you can buy your favorite footballers as stocks. So if you want to showcase your ball knowledge, you might be good at fantasy football, but this is the place where you can get rewarded for picking the best players, making a little bit of money as well. There's a link on screen, there's a QR code on screen, as well as a link in the description. Check out Stocks FC. It's good fun, guys. I'm sure you'll love it, and enjoy the video. Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. We've got some more Chelsea transfer news for you all. It's been a pretty quiet window as it stands, but there is a good chance that things could liven up. We've so far got Chalobah in, recalling him from his loan at Crystal Palace. But I think there's a good chance that we could see a number of players leaving and maybe another couple of players coming in as well. There's been plenty of conversation surrounding Christopher Nkunku. Bayern Munich doesn't look like they're going to put a bid in from what they're saying, but it's still reported that there is interest. Max Earl, who works for Bayern Munich, I think he's one of the directors. He said, "We're very happy with our squad. We're not actively looking to sign anyone." But I don't think that's entirely true. They've got Matthias Tell, who Chelsea are interested in. Obviously, Tell's a much younger player than Nkunku, almost 10 years younger, probably about eight years younger in total. But Tell's not getting any minutes in Germany because he's the understudy to Harry Kane. And there's no surprise he's not getting a chance, because how do you drop one of the best strikers in world football for an upcoming talent? It's fair enough, isn't it? So you would think that Tell would be open to the idea of coming to Chelsea, but he has repeatedly told Bayern Munich, according to sources, that he wants to prove himself there. So is that door shut? I don't know. But according to what I've seen, it looks like Chelsea could potentially still be looking to bring the player in. But we haven't submitted a formal bid as of yet. Also from Germany, Borussia Dortmund, we had this conversation a couple of days ago. They were interested in Vega. He was interested in going out to Germany as well, but not on a permanent deal, only on a loan. Chelsea completely shut off the idea of the player moving unless it was a permanent deal. And we would value Vega at about £30 million, about double what we paid for him, basically. So we would make 100% of our money back. It would be a nice little increase. But there's no real incentive for Chelsea to sell apart from that, because we need rotation for Cucurella. Ben Chilwell's on his way out, with Everton interested, and potentially West Ham as well. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And Dortmund, to be fair to them, they have submitted an official bid, but it's not a transfer. It's a loan deal that will include an option to buy, but also a loan fee as well. I can't see Chelsea accepting that, although I'm sure Vega, well, he's already expressed an interest. But we've said categorically he's not leaving on loan, so we'll leave it at that. Also, Torino are prepared to submit a new bid for Cesar Casadei. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be leaving as well. Napoli did express some interest, Feyenoord as well. But the terms that Chelsea are looking for, Napoli sort of backed off a little bit. It doesn't seem like they want to give in to what we want, and that might include a sell-on percentage or a buyback clause of some sort. I'm not 100% sure of that. In terms of the centre-backs, that's been one of the main talking points. Obviously, bringing Trevor Chalobah back into the squad, I think that massively strengthens what we're able to do, because not only have we got an improvement on the majority of players, I would say Colwell's still our best centre-back at the moment. But apart from that, Chalobah comes in, and I think he's an automatic starter, to be quite frank. You've got Fofana out injured. You've got Badiashile out injured. Tosin, he's a good player to have in terms of a rotational option. Another good character in the dressing room, but not quite what you want week in, week out in the Premier League. And Disasi's just not good enough. There was a rumour that Disasi could be going to Juventus. That rumour has now been squashed. So apparently Juventus aren't interested in Disasi. But there was also reports in Spain And I think it was Villarreal that were looking at Disasi. So we haven't had any headway on that deal as of yet. But I think there's a good chance that Chelsea could get rid of Disasi, especially now that we've brought Chalobah back. We're sending a clear message to Disasi that you're not going to play. Otherwise, we wouldn't have brought Chalobah in the first place. He's clearly not trusted by Maresca. The fact that he's played in the Conference League is fair enough, but he doesn't even play in his best position. So we've seen him playing as a right-back. As a player who is, quite frankly, just not capable of playing as a right-back. I mean, it's not something that I'd want to experience personally. You got players like Vega who can play in different positions. They don't necessarily want to, but they can. Disasi's, he just can't do it. So what's the point of risking results in games just to give a player minutes who's not good enough in his best position and he's not good enough in other positions? There's no point of keeping hold of him. So I do expect Disasi to go in January, but we'll see. Brighton have expressed interest in Tosin Adarabioyo. I don't think Chelsea should accept this deal. Look, we got the guy on a free transfer, didn't we? But this is where smart signings from a football perspective can also be quite attractive from the financial point of view, because we signed Tosin on a free transfer from Fulham, and there's talks about potentially, Chelsea accepting a £20 million bid. Now, when you look at it from that perspective, I think it looks like great business, but I still think from a footballing side, that's a poor decision. You've got a player in on a free transfer who has basically taken over from Thiago Silva. He's nothing like what Thiago Silva was. We can all appreciate that. He's never going to be like Thiago Silva, but he's already got the nickname of Uncle or Unk, and he's only in his late 20s. He's not anywhere near as old as Silva was. But we need leaders in that dressing room. And we know Tosin's not necessarily a winner. He hasn't been there and done that and won Champions Leagues and whatnot. But he's still an experienced player who's going to help the younger players around him. So from my perspective, even if we do get an offer of 20 million, I don't know if I want to accept that for Tosin, because you just have to bring another player in. And Chalobah isn't going to stay at Chelsea after this season. It's been established that he's coming in to help the team short-term and help himself short-term. There's no actual long-term project with Chalobah. And that's what makes Chelsea look even more stupid, if I'm honest, because we treated him so badly and now we're bringing him back only to sell him on in the summer anyway. So I don't think Tosin is the player we need to be getting rid of. We need to be looking at other players like Disasi first. And then maybe you could look around and see what else is happening. Also, Chelsea have expressed an interest, according to L'Equipe, a French source, in Karim Adeyemi. If you don't know who Adeyemi is, he scored against Chelsea in the Champions League when we went to Dortmund under Graham Potter. I think we lost that game 1-0 or 2-0. Yeah, we lost that game relatively comfortably. I think Felix hit the post. And Adeyemi is a very, very fast winger. A lot of pace. There was talks as well that interest is still minute. We haven't made an offer for him, but he's on the radar. He's certainly a player that we're interested in. We're looking at. If it's not for January, it's for the summer. There's also been talks from L'Equipe as well, speaking about Alejandro Garnacho, and I do not want that to happen. I'm saying, honestly, I watch United. Garnacho's an okay player. He is not the player that Chelsea need. He's nothing like Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho was an outcast at Man United, but you could see his quality. He's a proven player in European football. He's played to a level that not many others can get to in their lifetime. Garnacho is half the player that Jadon Sancho is. So it makes no sense, in my opinion, to look at Garnacho and think that that's a realistic deal that can actually happen. But having said that, he does have, a good energy. He offers something a little bit different on that left-hand side. But it just seems like a bit of a strange signing from my perspective. Really, we need to be keeping tabs on strikers. We are looking at Delap, obviously, but we haven't made an offer for him. So it's hard to tell if anything's going to happen in January. I think it's unlikely. The most likely scenario is that we keep a hold of Jackson, but we just try and reinforce other areas. The centre-back position is one of them. I think we need another midfielder. Ugachukwu played really, really well against Man United. Why not bring him back? He's clearly capable of playing for us. He has played for us. He was the dark horse in pre-season. And you need some cover in there in the midfield. We've already got, I think for the Wolves game, Fernandez is not going to be available. Cole Palmer as well. And Lavia. So, I mean, that's just from what Enzo Maresca said today. Obviously, they haven't been in training, but it's worrying, isn't it? Because if you lose two of your best midfielders, we're stuck with Caicedo. But who else have you got to play with him? You don't want to play Dewsbury Hall. Casades, he's going to go to Torino. Santos is on loan at Strasbourg. You've got Ugachukwu in Southampton. I'm trying to think who else we've got in the midfield. Chukwuemeka's not going to play. He's got interest from Everton and West Ham. So we're really limiting ourselves here, and we're relying on players like Lavia, who are still injury prone. He's a fantastic player, but he's injury prone. And then you've got Fernandez in that conversation as well. So we need to give Enzo Maresca a chance, just to actually have a midfield. Because if these players get injured and the window's up, we're going to be in big trouble. So let me know what you think, guys. Do you agree with some of the links that we have at the moment? Who do you think needs to go first? Who do we need to bring in? And what will actually happen? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. And we will catch up very, very soon.